Alright, gonna go in about 8 seconds. Well, a bit longer.
No, feel free to test.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the Buff Up Show. It is episode 7. It is the PC gaming show in association with the Next Gen Gaming blog. I'm not joined by Aaron this week because he has got the Mass Effect 3 lurgy and he can no longer speak. But I am joined by the one and only, the Av.
Hi, evening.
How's it going, man?
Oh, it's fine today.
Are you still glad to be a PC gamer?
Am I? No, not so very much this week.
Oh no, why not?
I've been playing Saints Row 2 and yeah, the port is so bad. So bad.
Bad ports are killing you. So you'd rather play on the console?
Honestly, it probably would run better on the console.
Probably would. It's an old game though. It's an old game. I hear Saints Row 3 is a bit better. Have you tried that? Saints Row the Third?
Yeah, it is better. Ironically, it does run better.
Yeah, good stuff. What are you doing? Some like co-op on that, or what? Why are you picking those games up now?
Very much co-op.
What's compelling you? There's so many games out there at the moment, and you're picking up Saints Row 2 and then Saints Row
That
the
was
Third.
that cheap on Steam.
Oh, how much?
Like €2.50.
Oh, okay, not bad, not bad. I guess you pick these games up. You've been enjoying it. Was it worth
Well,
it? The
it's
€2?
a fun game.
Yeah.
The only problem is that it runs like hell.
All right, good stuff. Just a very quick topic. We're going to kick things off with. We don't even have a video or anything for it, but it's new hardware, and that's why I'm glad to be a PC gamer. Is new hardware and new goodies to look forward to, and rumor has it that Nvidia are unveiling their next range of GPUs and graphics cards on Monday. At CeBIT, I think in Germany, CeBIT, and they're going to be launching the Nvidia 680, which is going to be their new flagship sort of graphics card to replace the 580. I was speaking to you earlier today, and you said that you kind of don't keep up with graphics hardware as much, but does a new graphics range excite you at all?
Yeah. The whole idea of that card is pretty good. I mean, surprising they haven't thought of this before. Maybe they had and just weren't able to do it.
Yeah.
After the processor.
Yeah, this card will overclock itself. The rumor has it this 680 will overclock itself when it needs a bit more oomph, when it sees a challenge in its processing. It will overclock itself for a moment, and then as soon, obviously it'll get a bit hotter, the fans will go, but as soon as it's back to a comfortable level, it will take it back down to the normal clock speed, and it's really good. It's dynamic overclocking, and it's something I'm sure if it works, we'll see a lot in the future. But just as a general thing, are you looking to get anything from the 600 series?
Maybe at some point.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're looking to upgrade your graphics card now, the rumor has it that the actual hardware is being relaunched to retail on the 23rd of March, so it's just a couple of weeks away. So if you're looking to upgrade, you may want to hold off on buying that graphics card. I know someone who just had their graphics card fried, and I've told them to hold off. So maybe. But yeah, we'll kick it off into our first part of news. PC gaming has had its biggest year ever in 2011. It sold something like $18.6 billion in PC games last year's. Apparently that's 15% up from 2010's figures. And if you look at 2010's pie chart here, 59% of all gaming was done on the PC. And this is because of things like League of Legends being launched in China, where it's picked up 1.1 billion revenue, or 11 million new players, and Zynga have made all these free-to-play games. So it's just important to remember the PC market is very much the casual all the way through to the hardcore, and the demographic is very big. Av, were you ever in doubt that PC gaming was? Did you think PC gamers was struggling and do these numbers?
Well, honestly, no. 2011 was one of the best games, year for games in the last several years. Like we had Skyrim, we had Deus Ex, we had Witcher, we had several good titles.
Well, you mentioned Skyrim and Deus Ex. They're both console releases and sold quite well on the console.
Yes,
So
obviously, but they're not console exclusives, obviously.
yeah, and so some of them do run better on the PC. For example, Skyrim is getting all these amazing mods now, and it's only on the PC that you get these amazing workshop mods.
It surprises me how Bethesda always prioritizes the Xbox release for their games.
Yeah, but yeah, the PC release is always the one that it the console sort of market is like a puddle, whereas the PC market is an ocean where you can expand that amazing gaming stuff. Speaking of a gaming title, which has its roots on the PC, SimCity. We got the announcement of SimCity 5 from GDC. It'll be hitting the PC in 2013. I mean, it's been quite a while since we've seen a SimCity. My memories of this game are, low graphics quality. I remember my brothers playing it as I was growing up and managing this city, and
graphics never were the issue.
No, it was never a game that you wanted to be graphically intense. However, this trailer looks amazing. This city is like the city of the next generation. It's a city we'll see maybe in 20, 30 years' time. It just looks really cool. Were you ever a big fan of SimCity?
Well, yes, at the point where I had a Commodore 64, that's when I had my first SimCity and spent ages on that. After that, not as much. I still enjoy like sim-based games.
So it's been quite a while since the last SimCity. Obviously, you've checked out the trailer. Does this excite you? Are you excited to go back? And cause it looks really good.
Why not? I mean, I like that type of game. I like the Anno type games, SimCity games. Like, I'm open for many titles.
It's a real time thing though. There's no way. It's not like you can complete the game, is it? It's like it just keeps going and going. It's a real time sink, and
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I never play Civilization anymore. 11 hours a day gone.
Yeah, so but this game is going to feature player decisions with long-lasting repercussions. So they're going to use some of the new gaming methodologies, such as decision making and consequences of those decisions. So it's good to see they're not just making another SimCity with a graphical update. They're obviously adding some core gameplay elements. I think a lot of people are excited about this. I'm not sure if I'll be purchasing it, but I'm sure it'll do. Do you think it'll do well in retail?
Probably. It's one of those like casual friendly kind of games. It's probably hard to master while still very easy to pick up.
Yeah, definitely.
It shouldn't be like an issue to get it. This is probably similar to in the case of The Sims, like maybe less DLCs.
Yeah, they'll probably make it easy to run on most PCs as well. There won't be too, although it looks great. Hopefully there'll be some lower settings because you don't have to be a gamer to appreciate a game like SimCity. As you said, it's not really a game; it's a simulation, which is called SimCity. A bit like The Sims. You don't have to be a gamer to enjoy that game. And I'm surprised that in this day and age that their release, it seems like it's going to be a full PC release. It's, in this day and age, you might see it come out as like a free-to-play sort of flash game.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It could come out like one of those silly games.
Yeah, but I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a full PC release. There's nothing that suggests that it's not. Well, the details are a bit thin because they've just announced it. But maybe this will be a downloadable title. Who knows? But I've got a feeling there's going to be some sort of box release and retail release. I know it's promising. We'll see. It's coming out 2013, so I'm sure they'll trickle out the news over 2012 and try and hype it up as much as possible. But yeah, I hope the game does well, and the PC could use SimCity, as you said, Anno. I think Anno 20. I don't know what number they've got attached to it, 2027 or something. Recently came out, published by Ubisoft. So there's certainly a market there, and it will do well. Switching perspectives. to Counter-Strike Global Offensive. What we're watching now is the original trailer. The news this week is that the cross-platform play between the PlayStation 3 and the PC is no longer going to be a feature in the new game, even though this trailer touts it. This was never a feature that the hardcore were going to use. It's always going to be, oh, my friend's on PC, I want to play with him on PS3. The PS3 guy's going to get owned, right?
Yes.
So is it that bad a thing that it's not in the game anymore? I mean, they've cited the reason that throughout the beta they've realised that they need to update the game a lot, and they want to update the PC version a lot more than the PS3 and console versions. And basically, because of the certification system that Sony require for each patch, getting a patch out for the PS3 is a pain in the ass, basically, and getting a patch out for the PC is like, hey, we can do whatever we like. It's our game. It's going to be on Steam, and Valve can patch away. So they basically said, yeah, they're going to be patching the PC game a lot more often than the PS3 version, and the two titles just wouldn't line up because of those patches, and now they've taken it out. So before I interrupted you there, I asked you the question, is this such a bad thing?
No. I don't think so. You basically covered it. This sums up how it works, really. The community, which is the Counter-Strike community, I don't know how many people will go for that. I mean, they're like similar to what StarCraft community is. There's still several people still playing the first game, or the Brood Wars. I suppose this will be similar to that, and if those people would even be against the console people, I would agree with you. Like, the console would not have much chance, especially against mouse and keyboard, way too accurate.
Yeah,
compared to even the gamepads and the auto aims.
Even if you forget about the whole, elitism in PC gaming and the hardcore that play Counter-Strike, you take an average PC gamer like me, like myself. I'm not great at Counter-Strike at all. I hardly play it, but I would completely ruin a console. On the PS3, I played Killzone 3, and I had the PlayStation Move, and I was quite proficient with the PlayStation Move, and I could get so many kills in that game so easily, like just headshots, because the Move, people say, oh, it's not as good as the keyboard and mouse. Maybe it's not, but I was really good with the Move and the navigation controller. And it just felt so one-sided in that game, and I don't think I'm a great FPS player. I just felt, I had an advantage, perhaps an unfair advantage, playing against guys on the pad. So yeah, maybe it's better they're taking this out. And also, if they had done this and they had stunted the PC updates because of their waiting on PS3 updates, the community only would have been angry. And why is this, like, if there's big bugs in the game or big balancing issues and Valve aren't fixing them, there'd be a big outcry and a backlash. So it's good that they've used the beta, which the game is currently still in beta. It's good that they're using this beta to realise how to apply stuff to the game when it's actually out. It's a good thing. Too many betas these days are adverts for the game rather than actual tests. So Valve know what they're doing, and it's a good decision by them. Disappointing maybe if you wanted to play someone on the console. For me, I was never going to use that feature. I think they wanted to do it because they have this whole affinity with the PlayStation 3 now, with the fact that they brought out Portal 2 on the PS3 and PC.
Oh.
So co-op. So I think co-op play is good, but competitive multiplayer together is not.
Yes, agreed there.
I think we can agree. All right, we've agreed. I think it's a good time to move on. We shall move on to some RPG. Yeah, so it is Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones Castlewood trailer came out. The Game of Thrones RPG is not a topic we've ever discussed on the Buff Up Show, and I thought it's about time we have. I got into Game of Thrones by watching the TV series, which is based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire novels. I mean, have you seen the series or have you read the books?
Actually, no. I've been meaning to. Everyone's been telling me to do that, but I never got into it.
Oh man, I had obviously the hardcore will say the books are better, but I haven't actually read the books. Sorry, I've just read I've watched the first season of Game of Thrones, and oh my god, that is like the best TV show I've seen in like a decade of TV. You can forget you're lost or anything. It's all about Game of Thrones, and the second season is actually starting in April, so now's the perfect time to go and get the box set and watch it. This RPG is being developed by Cyanide, not the most well-known developer for AAA games, and I mean the graphics in this game don't look great. From what you've seen and what you've read, do you have a lot of hope for this game?
Well, I'm guessing this is more of a fan thing. Like, this looks alright to me. There's nothing wrong with like remotely broken from what I've seen, but I also don't know much about the show or even the books.
They've got like a really rich, you can see from the art, it's like a medieval sort of lore, and they've got this whole world, and it's very shield and sword, but there's an element of dragons as well. I mean, I don't know the whole canon and the whole lore of Game of Thrones. I've just seen the first season of the TV show, which is a minute percentage, but there was a Mad King, and apparently Castlewood is a place that supported the Mad King before he died, so they're not that popular, but this is a safe haven. They're showing in the trailer, it's a safe haven for your character. So we could see a really rich world. I don't know, we could get a really good game, we could get a really bad game. I mean recently there was an RTS Game of Thrones that came out, and it had some really good premises, but ultimately it failed to deliver a great gaming experience from what I'm told.
Problem with games, well, based on movies or TV shows, is that they usually need to be accurate enough so the fans don't get mad, and still accessible enough for non-fans to get into it, which is a bit of an art to do.
Yeah, I think the best thing they've done here is I think they've made you like some kind of like nameless character in the world, so you're just a new character. So they can sort of forge a new path, but as long as they get the surrounding story and events more or less accurate, it could be good. Obviously, the gameplay mechanics are going to have to be good. You're going to have some good RPG mechanics. But it is something we shall watch with great interest, especially as I'll be watching the new season of Game of Thrones. And I don't know if this thing's got a release date yet. I'm not sure if it's got a release date. Yeah, there's no information about a release date yet.
Maybe a bit too early.
Yeah. But something that has been released is a new League of Legends champion, Fiora, and I remember when screenshots of this lovely champion were released, you said to me straight away that you were going to buy her. I've been slacking on my League of Legends lately, but since she's come out, you've actually bought her. She's a melee AD carry. Go on, tell us about her. What are her abilities like, and what she like to play?
Well, she does play slightly to what I like playing as. Very agile kind of character with two gap closers. Well, technically one, but you can use it twice in a short period in between. She does have like specific moves that actually make her a really good duellist, which is kind of her name. Overall, I think her abilities aren't really that strong, but since people don't really know how to prepare against them right, they do call it overpowered or too strong and stuff.
It's funny how you bring this question of balancing, and we spoke about this in StarCraft 3, StarCraft 2. People think Terran are overbalanced, but then that's before they figured out Zerg, and then they thought Zerg were overbalanced, and then they figured out Protoss, and then Protoss were overbalanced. It's all about figuring out. So yeah, as you say, you need to watch out for attacks, because with the old champions, you're sort of like, oh, don't stand there, he's going to do this to you. Whereas this is a new champion, and people are not so wary of her new. She's a wild card at the moment.
Not for long, but yeah.
No, not for long, because people will get used to her. Do you see her having long-term success, and will you be using her long-term?
Oh, probably, yeah. She's not a bad jungler from what I've seen. She's not a bad solo top, but she's also a really decent bottom champion. since she does somewhat counter the regular ranged AD carries, who generally, while having high damage, are still pretty squishy, and her having like a gap closer and the ability to reflect damage, like a regular melee attack or regular auto attack damage, can wreak some havoc, since, well, carries are also based on auto attacks mostly.
What is, obviously she's a carry, so what is she like in the early game? What sort of play style do you use?
Well, early game she just farms for a bit, gets some lifesteal, which is quite useful for her, and basically she can wreak havoc. Like once level 6, and in the right moment, you can easily tower dive someone to get the kill.
Yeah, so tower diving, going past the tower to get the kill, and she as a carry, does she really excel in the late game? Does she carry the team later
She
on?
does, yes, she does very much. Like the unless you're being focused all the time, in I have been obviously before, but if she's not being focused, she will deal stupid amounts of damage. Her attack speed is insanely high, and the fact that she can, with enough life steal, she can get back to full health from nearly nothing with one use of her ultimate.
All right, good stuff. So overall, do you give it a thumbs up?
Yeah, that's a really enjoyable character. I always liked the type of fencing characters in game, like in Soul Calibur, and that's the main reason why I wanted to get her.
Yeah, well, she looks kind of cool. She's not really my style of character. I mean, if I go for like a melee character, I normally go for lots of armor. My squishy characters tend to be ranged. But yeah, man, I haven't got the time for League of Legends. Have you been watching the IEM, the big Intel Extreme Masters, the tournament in Germany at CBIT?
Sadly, no, not didn't have even time.
Ah, okay. Well, I've been watching some of the StarCraft 2 streams, and I heard some of the StarCraft 2 players are actually playing some League of Legends. So it's interesting to have the crossover, which segues us nicely into StarCraft Masters. Now, have you heard about this custom map that Blizzard have made, featuring 30 challenges?
Oh, not before you told me about it. No.
Well, yeah, it's basically what I said. It's 30 challenges made by Blizzard in a custom map, and the idea is to have some micro showcases so you can test your micro, and some of them are pretty challenging. The problem I have with it, I don't have a problem with it, but the problem I have with it as a general, it doesn't explain what you need to do. This thing is supposed to teach you how to micro and challenge you. Well, it's not. It's supposed to teach you and challenge you. All it does is challenge you. So it'll give you a scenario like we have with the first one here with the Marine versus a Zealot, and obviously the sensible thing to do is to kite it. But there are other challenges like a Void Ray plus a Terran turret, and you have a pylon. Yeah. So as we know, as you know, as a Protoss player, and as I know because I've played a lot of StarCraft, you have to charge up the Void Ray on the pylon, because a Void Ray has 3 different attack types, and it charges up. So it charges up the first attack, then the second attack, and the third attack. So it's got 3 levels of the charge, and only once you've got 3 levels of the charge should you attack the turret. So you've got enough DPS to kill it before it kills you. Now, let's say Aaron, who is just learning Protoss, he doesn't really know about Void Rays. I don't know if he knows they do that. He wouldn't know to do that. So you've got to have some knowledge in this game. I don't think it actually tells you. I mean, I've played it a little bit, and there are notifications saying defeat the enemy. But, it doesn't really tell you how to do it. It's sort of like, well, figure it out. I mean,
Yeah. This is one of the issues. Like, the only thing I'm thinking, like, this is a nice idea, but it's not even a good idea for the new players, really. Because nobody will learn any basics from that. Nobody will learn how to, like,
oh, no.
to me. Like, that thing is a nice addition to something that should have been made. Like, I don't expect Blizzard to make, let's say, a map which tells you, oh, build this at this point of time. But I would really want to see Blizzard put out a map that lets you do those build tests, easily reset buttons and stuff. That would have been better than this kind of map.
Yes.
However, having this isn't a bad thing.
No, this is really cool. I mean, obviously, StarCraft 2 is a macro-based game, which means you want to build up a base, and generally the person that has a bigger base and more buildings and more income because it can just build and up will win because they can rebuild their army once it dies. Whereas micro will only get you so far, but at the highest level, which is why they're calling it StarCraft Masters. I mean, if you want to get into Masters League or Diamond League, then you need to have this micro skill about you, because it's not just about macro, then it's about microing your units and winning those key engagements. And the only way to win those key engagements is to have micro. So this is really cool. It does a number of scenarios for all three races. So and also it's a real eye opener, because as this example here, we have the Zealots versus the what are those Zerg units called? They're on screen. I can't even the Hydralisk. You have a bunch of Hydralisks against the Zealot, and the Zealot absolutely own them if you just attack. But if you actually micro your units and control all of them and kill them all the Zealots in order, the Hydralisk will actually win. So it shows you that micro really is key, and it's sometimes something that we forget to do. And it's been a real eye opener for me. And from now on, I will be trying to micro a bit better. Obviously, macro is still king, and if you're diamond or below, or platinum or below, macro is still going to win the day over micro. But it's good. It's a good tool to have in your armory. Just keeping things StarCraft 2. I've been checking out the IEM championships over in Germany. They've been really good. I've just been enjoying it. I've been watching it whilst doing my work.
I have no such luck.
You have no such luck. And they did a cool thing today. They finished the matches really early. So they had an epic free for all with casters and pros. And the free for alls are they're just crazy. Like, who can stay alive the longest and build a massive army. So that was kind of cool. StarCraft 2 is still going very strong, and I know Day 9 was at some sports convention the other week, which normally talks about America, like in America, normally talks about American football and just normal sports. But they actually had an esports panel with Sundance from MLG, and they had a guy from Blizzard there as well. And esports is really huge at the moment. I don't know if you managed to catch the Winter Arena, but that MLG had a pay-per-view event, and they had an extra event. So not all MLG events in future are going to be pay-per-view, but this event was an extra event, and they charged $20 for the weekend, and they released the replays for free, the video uploads for free after a week. And I've been watching some of them because I didn't pay for it because I was away that weekend, but I've been watching some of those, and they are really good. They are really, really good. So yeah, man. StarCraft and esports. How do you feel about it at the moment? Do you come home and sometimes want to watch esports, or is it just a side thing for you?
Oh well, StarCraft. I have been really, really incredibly rusty with it. I do like esports. Obviously, this is a really great thing that was happening lately. Like what StarCraft brought, what League of Legends is trying to do. Like the esport is a really good thing for us gamers, because it shows that it's more than just like silly hobby. It can be something quite big.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the great thing about it is that you're playing on the same format as these professionals, and anyone that's good enough can really come through online tournaments. And just sitting at your desktop, you can become a champion. I know it's great. I know how Day 9 says it, but to be a better gamer, I often because I'm playing a lot of StarCraft these days, I'm always trying to improve. I find myself improving in other games as a result. I'm more efficient in the other games I play now, and I'm just becoming more proficient at being a gamer. And you don't always have to be, because in a single player experience, you don't always have to push yourself. You can just I'll kill them eventually, or I'll just play it on normal. But esports is pushing me. It's a great entertainment, and if you're not into esports, you should check it out. Check out some StarCraft. Watch Day 9, watch Husky StarCraft, and just learn what it's about and see if you like it, really. But yeah, that's my esports rant done. And we got to watch a bit extra of StarCraft Masters there. Just to go back to StarCraft Masters, there are 30 challenges, and you can skip some. So if you get to one that's really hard, and you want to reach the next bit of content, you don't have to get through it. So that's kind of cool. Moving away to a completely different FPS, a completely different PC game is Planetside 2. Av, did you manage to check out the video of Planetside 2? This is It's not the best quality video. It's from GDC. It's a camera of a TV screen, but oh my god, this is like the first real footage that we've seen of Planetside 2, and wow, it's huge. It looks amazing. The guy was on stage showing it. He was showing the continent, which is on screen now. He was showing that like there's so many continents and each color is different factions. And he said each capture point in the game is about the size of a Call of Duty map.
Indeed.
I don't know about the game mechanics themselves, but he was saying things like, oh, when you see a plane fly over you, it is actually a real plane that you can shoot down. It reminded me like Battlefield 3, but like on a global scale.
Yeah. This is actually fun. Like, I've seen this video. I'm normally not into FPSs. But this is interesting. They managed to capture the good sides of MMOs and combine it with the fast-paced combat and whole squad and working together of a shooter game. Well, assuming your squad is working together with you.
Yeah, they've taken like crack and like heroin and mixed them together in gaming form. And but the reason you asked like why don't other people do this? This is bloody hard to do. Creating something like this is a technical feat. It is bloody hard to do. They did it with the original Planetside when we had 56k modems and crappy PCs. Now we've got NVIDIA 580s and fiber optic broadband, so they can deliver. You don't even need fiber optic broadband. You just need broadband, but they can deliver these amazing global experiences. I don't know how MMO-y this game's going to be. I mean, is it going to? It's going to be massive, but is it going? It's not going to be like your typical MMO, is it?
From what I've seen, it's not like a grindy one. It won't basically. You won't be going around farming your linen cloth to make your first armor, but it will be mostly fast-paced. I'm guessing the MMO aspects are mostly because it's massive multiplayer rather than just RPG based.
Yeah, I mean they've got different factions, and each faction has different vehicles. Like the Terran Republic have vehicles that have wheels, like your traditional combat vehicles. Whereas I'm not sure what the other faction's called, but they have like these hover tanks that you would see out of Halo, and this other thing has helicopters and crazy stuff, and they all have different weapons and abilities. So it's kind of cool. I mean, do you think it's going to be successful? Do you think it's going to be a massive hit, or do you think it's going to be the hardcore playing this?
I mean, I doubt it's going to be only the hardcore playing this, seeing as it's like that. Plus, and it's supposed to be free, and the microtransactions aren't going to be buying power. That alone makes this game way better than most others in that regard. I'm thinking it will be quite successful. I mean, from what I've seen, and I'm not a FPS fan, I would actually play that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's worth trying. I mean, it's going to deliver an experience that very few have seen before. I know MAG on the PS3, the massive FPS game, but the PlayStation 3, as good as it is, doesn't have.
Yeah, but it was quite
the
limited.
Raw power behind. Yeah, it's quite limited. So yeah, Planetside 2. They're also gonna have like a 5-year content plan. So they're going to support this thing for a long, long time. So I know there are people still playing the original Planetside. Where it's the only game where you can like drop in on a base with 100 paratroopers and try and storm it with like just 5 guys defending it in a narrow choke. I mean, you'll be telling your grandkids these stories of how you defended. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
Beautiful.
I hope it's good. I hope that the basic shooting mechanics are good and the basic vehicle mechanics are good, because without all of that amazing, without all of that basic stuff, this amazing stuff just gets washed out of the way.
Yeah, it will fall apart.
Yeah. So
but they have experience.
They have experience. I think it's gonna go into beta soon, and
hopefully an open beta.
Hopefully an open beta, indeed. Something that is certainly not in beta and it's been out for a while, is World of Warcraft. It's our favourite MMO to sort of talk about and bash on the Buff Up Show. But, in fairness, we all did play World of Warcraft for, what was it, 5 years we played it for?
Probably
6
around
years?
that.
Wow, we played that. Wow, I think of how much time I played in that game. That game was everything to me back in the day. But this new Scroll of Resurrection, which they have announced, is not enough to entice me back. The news, no, the news is that this is an amazing offer for the Scroll of Resurrection. If you take up the brand new Scroll of Resurrection and your account was not active since last Sunday, anyone that comes back will get a free upgrade to Cataclysm if they haven't already got it. One character will be instantly boosted to level 80, so they don't have to do any of the previous content. They can go straight into Cataclysm content. What this image over here doesn't mention is you'll get level 80 gear, so that you can compete at that level and actually do quests. Obviously, you're going to need some gear to do that. You'll get 7 days free game time, which is standard. You'll also get a free character move for Realm and Faction. And the friend that gives you the Scroll of Resurrection will get a flying Spectral Wind Rider or a Spectral Griffin. So this is really designed to get a guildmate in. So if I'm on a server with a guild, or I hey Av, come and join us, and you're like, no, I'm not even level 80 yet. I haven't got Cataclysm on. I'm not on your server. I'll be like, hey, Scroll of Resurrection, all of those. I think the biggest thing is character transfer and Realm and Faction change. That is a massive thing.
Yes. That's almost to bring back. Blizzard has been doing really well lately.
Yeah.
As much as I like to bash on them sometimes, they have been picking good choices.
Is this a good choice, or are they desperate? Or is this a show of strength?
It is desperate, but it's also quite a good choice. This is the best thing they could have gone for. There have been many choices that actually get players to back together. You remember the cross-realm dungeons?
Yeah.
Then cross-realm raids.
Yeah, those are really good things as well. They're really good features that they've implemented.
Now you can get a friend who hasn't played back into the game. And let's say I personally have a friend who doesn't own Cataclysm.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't play, but I don't play either. But if anymore, at least. But if in that case, I would go hey, wanna do this? And bam, he's back at 80, and he has Cataclysm. He can start right off the bat, which is a really good choice on their part. It's desperate because they lost a lot of the subscribers. They want to get them back, but this is the right path to go.
Yeah, and I think that the test of strength of this Scroll of Resurrection, Aaron actually said to me the other week, he was saying he was never going to play an MMO again, or he never wanted to play an MMO again. It didn't have real combat like Terra, or some innovative combat like Guild Wars 2. He said to me, oh yeah, it's a good thing if you want to do some arena. We'll start we'll start accounts where we get to 80 with some characters. Well, our characters aren't 80 yet, I don't think. We were going to do a warlock and a druid and a warrior PvP, but we took so long to level, and during the leveling process we sort of gave up. But Aaron was like, oh yeah, this will be really good. We'll get to 80. All we need to do is get to 85. We can do some PvP. We can do arena. So the fact that this sparked his interest when he already said he would never do it again, it's a pretty good move. It's a pretty good move. It's a very bold move, and they've always offered cool things for Scroll of Resurrection, like mounts, or if you sign up for a new account, you get this. But they're basically saying you don't have to do all the boring leveling content. You can start at the bleeding edge, well, not bleeding edge. You can start at the relative quest content, which is the Cataclysm content, and you can play with your friend because we'll move you to the faction and realm that he's on. I think a lot of MMOs are going to have to be like this to get customers back. You have to lower the barrier. Barriers are always things that are going to stop a lot of the casual gamers, and perhaps people that can't be bothered. If it's too much effort, you're not going to go into it. So a good move, a bold move. They certainly raised a few eyebrows, don't you think?
Yeah, well, another negative thing, well, the other one negative thing that I can see this is basically Blizzard again is backing up on their big rules, like never. I remember back in like vanilla and TVC, they were like, we will never allow faction transfers. We will
Yeah.
never allow race
But
changes.
that's when the game was hot, and like people
We
would
will
be like,
never.
screw it, I'll just level a new character, or screw it, yeah, I'll start a new character on this server with you, and I'll
Yeah.
level it again. Whereas they've realised that their stock in this game has diminished, and they have to meet the player halfway because they're not so hot. People aren't prepared to go the extra mile for them anymore. So they've had to strip these away, make their game more accessible as time's gone on. I think that's okay. I think that's
Yes.
okay. It's a bit like the DRM with The Witcher. When it originally released, there was DRM on The Witcher, and they slowly stripped that away because they wanted to lower the barrier for new people. People don't like DRM, but
Yes,
we put up with it for a week, and then they stripped it away slowly. So it's cool. Something to certainly look out for. But yeah, I'm certainly not going back to WoW. Are you? After saying all that.
No, no way.
All right, so maybe people that don't want to level, basically, or people that have never reached 80. We've reached 85. People that have never reached 85 might want to do this because, like, hey, you can just go to 80 and then you got 5 levels of content. 5 very juicy levels of content, because Cataclysm content is still some of the best questing content in the MMO genre. I think that is all the topics covered for this week. Unless you have anything to add, Av?
No, I don't think so. Pretty much covered all the lists.
Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, just a bit of tidying up to do. Twitter at official_NGB. Obviously, we are in association with the Next Gen Gaming blog. We have a lot of reviews up now, including Mass Effect 3 review, Binary Domain. Go read it there. Also, lots of video content with the sneak peeks. And you can follow them on Twitter at official_NGB. You can follow me at Aryel Abrahami, and you can follow Aaron, who is normally a co-host on the show. He's not here this week. And there's nextgengamingblog.com. Av, thank you for joining me in this dual cast.
Sure. Don't worry, I'm not replacing Aaron.
Alright, good stuff. We'd have to paint you black.
Yes.
Or you'd have to grow a lot of hair.
Oh, don't worry.
Alright. That has been episode 7. Remember, the Buff Up Show comes to you every 2 weeks on Friday on the Next Gen Gaming blog and on Buff Up TV. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time.